Just a year ago, relations between the US and France were at a low point. A very public spat between the two countries cost Paris a valuable submarine deal with Australia. And in the fallout, President Emmanuel Macron recalled the French ambassador to the US for consultation. Now, as Macron heads to Washington on a state visit, the two countries are keen to show they've put all their issues behind them. The meeting is set to be the first state visit of Joe Biden's presidency, and Washington has left the world under no illusions as to why it chose France for the occasion.
I mean, if you look at what's going on in Ukraine, look at what's going on in the Indo-Pacific and the tensions with China, France is really at the center of all those things. And President Macron has been a dynamic leader inside the G7, particularly there in Europe. And so the president felt that this was exactly the right and the most appropriate country to start with for state visits.
Along with those issues, the US's newly passed Inflation Reduction Act, which has been a sticking point between the two countries, is also set to be on the agenda for talks. The legislation provides tax credits to consumers who buy green technology made in the US, including electric vehicles. Brussels has argued these subsidies amount to unfair protectionism, while France says the law threatens to put European manufacturers at a competitive disadvantage.
As if the twin transition and the energy crisis was not challenging enough, we now have to deal of some of the negative impact of the US Inflation Reduction Act. Behind these measures imposed by the US lies a much more important risk, I believe, which is a complete change in investment flow.
Despite Europe's concerns, the White House argues the legislation goes a long way in helping the US meet global efforts to curb climate change.